So it's about determining cost of products and services. Correct. Okay. But the next question which I asked you is why? Why do you want to determine cost of a product or service? Well, you told me one of the reason that we want to determine cost of product or service so that we can determine selling price. Okay. Now let's take one example. Yes, Shruti. Shruti, you are right. But right now, let us take this one example here that I'm get done. I'm calculating cost to determine selling price of the product. Well, um, let's say example is that you see this pencil. Yeah. Let's say I manufacture these pencils. Take a good proper look at the pencil. And it's a mechanical pencil or clutch pencil kind of, right? Let's say I am having a business of manufacturing these pencils, then I need to determine cost of this pencil, right? I have a business of manufacturing these pencils. I need to determine cost of this pencil. So my example is about pencil manufacturing. And I want to determine the cost per unit of this pencil. Now, why do I wish to identify cost per unit? Well, I want to identify this cost per unit so that on this cost per unit, I can then add some profit per unit and therefore fix a selling price per unit. Right? This is what you were suggesting. I hope this was what you were suggesting. Like when you say that determining cost is done to determine selling price will be determined like this. You identify cost of making one pencil. You identify cost of making this one pencil, add a profit that you wish to earn, so you get the selling price per unit. Right? So far clear? Okay. Let's say you did some calculations and you found out that cost per unit of the pencil is, say for example, you determined it as 20 per unit. So on this 20 per unit, you thought of adding profit of 5 per unit. So you get the selling price of 25 per unit, right? So chalo, this is the purpose of my subject of costing. But well, this is only the first purpose. There are many other purpose also of my subject of costing. These other purpose we will discuss eventually a few minutes later. But right now, starting with this purpose, I have some other questions for you, right? So now listen to this. Chalo, if this is my subject of costing, this is my purpose for the subject of costing. So based on this explanation, based on this example, think and tell me, can you tell me that how is my subject of costing different from your subject of accounting? Have you started the subject of accounting? Yeah, your routine accounts ka subject. You've started it, right? That's why I asked you. You told that you have started the subject of accounting, and based on this explanation of costing, based on only this explanation of costing subject, can you tell me how is this subject different from your accounting subject? See, if you notice the name of the subject, then the name of my subject also involves the word accounting. Let us differentiate. Let us differentiate what you have been learning in your accounting subject. Probably you have been doing your accounting subject since your school days. right? 11th standard, 12th standard, also you have done your accounting subject. Costing is a subject you are learning for the very first time. So I presume that right now, almost every one of you who are sitting over here, I presume that accounting subject you must have been learning from at least say last 3 years. Correct or not? Yeah, maybe 11th standard, 12th standard, even CPT foundation, and then now intermediate. So at least since 3 years you might be learning the subject of accounting. Here we are now starting the subject of costing. So first I need you to change your mindset. I know most of you who have decided to do CA course, that you have decided to do. You have decided to do the course of CA, so you are obsessed with your subject of accounting. Yeah, I'm sure that you all must be very obsessed with your accounting subject and all. So every point of time accounting comes to your mind. Well, for my subject, I need to remove that accounting mindset from you, and I need to put the costing mindset in your brains. And that's why I'm asking you this question. How is your accounting subject different from this costing subject? Okay, chalo, I'll ask you a more better question. The accounting subject that you do, the accounting subject that you make balance sheet, you make P&L, you make cash flow statements. In short, you make all these financial statements in accounting subject. For whom do you make those financial statements? Balance sheet, P&L. Let's talk about only balance sheet and P&L. For whom do you prepare this balance sheet P&L? To whom are you supposed to submit that balance sheet P&L? Any company. In any company, balance sheet P&L is made for whom? For shareholders? Yes. For outsiders? Absolutely. Yeah, those of you who say shareholders, you are right. But let me just make some change in that. It is not just for shareholders, it is for any stakeholders. See, there's a difference between the word shareholder and stakeholder. Shareholder, the word shareholder will include only shareholders, equity shareholders or preference shareholders. But when I say stakeholders, it will include all investors, it will also include government, it will also include general public, or let's say prospective investors. Yeah, so books of accounts that you make, books of accounts that you make, financial statements that you prepare, balance sheet, P&L and everything, that is mainly primarily prepared for, yes, outsiders, for outside stakeholders, for shareholders, for investors, for government, for public, etc. Even for income tax authority. Yes or no? Right? But costing calculations, say this calculation which we did, this calculation of determining selling price. Did I do this calculation for presenting this to my shareholders? Think about it. Do you ever have to present this to your shareholders, to your investors, to the government, to the tax authorities? No. Why did you do this calculation? Was this done for presenting it to outsiders? No. This was done for your internal decisions, internal management. So the first and basic difference between costing and accounting is that accounting subject is for presenting my position to outsiders. Costing subject is not to be presented to anybody outside. It is for your internal decision making. Clear with that? Right? Let me write that down here. so sorry. Now remember this terminology. Remember this terminology that costing subject is called as cost accounting, and your routine accounting subject where you make balance sheet, P&L and everything, that routine accounts ka subject that you have, it's called as financial accounting. Tell me, who teaches financial accounting to you guys? Can I know the faculty name? Because I'll need his help at many points. Gaurang sir. Okay. Gaurang sir, good. So I hope all of you are learning it from Gaurang sir. Yeah, okay. So costing subject is what Devang sir is the teaching you, and financial accounting is the subject that Gaurang sir has taught you, right? So what's the basic difference? The first difference is that costing subject is for internal decision making, while accounting subject is for accounting is for presenting my position to outsiders. Okay. So based on this difference, few more other differences. Tell me. In fact, one of you already told that answer. I'll just repeat that. When do you make this calculation? Beginning of the year or end of the year? This selling price decision, selling price calculation, when do you do this calculation? Beginning of the year or end of the year? Beginning of the year. Okay. Well, then let me ask you another question. At the beginning of the year, do you know cost per unit? How do you know cost at the beginning of the year? When do you come to know the actual cost of production? I say that my cost of producing one pencil is 20 per unit. When will I come to know my actual cost of producing one pencil? Yes, Nimi. So my actual cost I will come to know only after production. So once again, tell me, when is this calculation done? Beginning of the year, end of the year, before production or after production? When is this calculation done? After production. Okay. Now imagine this. Imagine this. A customer comes to my shop and he asks for a product. When the customer will come to the shop, he will ask for a product. So I will tell the customer that wait, let me do the production, then I will tell you what is the price. Is that suitable? Is that suitable? Will I ask the customer to wait until I do the production and then I tell you the price? Or worst case, chalo, will I tell the customer that ki, acha, you want this pencil? Go take this pencil. Yeah, you take this pencil right now as it is without payment. I will tell you selling price at the end of the year when I come to know the actual cost. Does that ever happen? Is that possible? No. So one thing is clear. selling price decision has to be done not at the end of the year, not after production. It has to be done before production. It has to be done at the beginning of the year. See, you told me that these cost calculations are done for internal decision making. Now, don't you think that before starting your production, you should have estimated selling price? Yes or no? Will you start your production? Will you start your business without even expecting any selling price? No, you have to expect a selling price, and based on that, you start your production. Right or not? Yeah. So basically, all my cost calculations, when will this be done? My entire subject of costing, all calculations in this subject of costing are to be done at the beginning of the year. Now tell me, if these calculations are done at the beginning of the year, then beginning of the year, do I know cost per unit of one pencil? No. So how do I start that calculation? How will I determine selling price at the beginning of the year when I don't even know cost at the beginning of the year? Yes, Nimi, absolutely. So that leads to another conclusion here, that my entire subject of costing, yes, absolutely, this entire subject of costing, it is a subject of estimates. Yeah, entire subject, everything is estimate only. So the cost per unit is, yes, this cost per unit is estimated cost per unit plus estimated profit or target profit that you want will give you your estimated selling price, right? My entire subject of costing is fully based on estimates. All workings are based on estimates. Entire subject of costing is based on estimates, right? While financial accounting, when you make your books of accounts, when you make balance sheet P&L, when do you make balance sheet P&L? Do you make it at the beginning of the year or do you make it at the end of the year? Well, yes, your balance sheet P&L and everything is made at the end of the year. And because this is done at the end of the year, is it based on estimates? No. Your books of accounts, your balance sheet, your P&L, that is based on actual cost. In fact, you have learned a concept in your accounting subject that all your accounting will be done based on which cost? What's that concept called? Come on, tell me. Your accounting concept which decides that your accounting calculations will be based on which cost? All workings are based on actual cost, and in accounting a concept, yes, Nimi, it is called as historical cost concept. Yeah, so tell me, do you remember historical cost concept? Do you remember historical cost concept in accounting? Well, your accounting subject is purely based on historical cost. My costing subject is entirely based on estimates. And chalo, that leads me to my next point of difference. And this next point of difference, very, very useful for my explanations. Listen carefully. See, I told you that costing subject is for internal decisions. It is based on estimates. Yeah. Now, if it is for internal decisions, it is based on estimates. Well, that makes you think that for my subject of costing, is there any laws or regulations applicable? Like for your subject of accounting, there are many laws and regulations applicable for accounting subject. What laws or what regulations are applicable in accounting subject? Yes, Companies Act will apply. You need to make balance sheet as per the format mentioned in the Companies Act. Yes, accounting standards will apply. Absolutely. If you are doing international trade, then international regulations will also apply. If you are listed on the stock exchange, then SEBI securities regulations will also apply. Yeah, so many laws and regulations will apply. If you are a banking company, then yes, banking regulations will apply. Insurance company, insurance regulations will apply. So for accounting purpose, for financial accounting, there are so many uh, legal compliances to be followed. But in my costing subject, are there any legal compliances to be followed? Legal compliances to be followed, like Companies Act, like accounting standards. But for my costing subject, there are absolutely no legal compliances to be followed. No Companies Act, no accounting standards, no securities or SEBI regulations, no banking regulations, no laws applied. Only thing applicable is the only thing applicable is pure and simple logic. Yes, that's the beauty of my subject, and that's the reason, well, frankly, that's the reason I love this subject. That's the reason I am in love with the subject, because this subject is purely based on logic, no laws applicable, no regulations applicable. So, mostly, I will never ask you to memorize any laws or regulations or anything. Everything is based on logic, right? Only pure and simple logic applicable. And I hope you understand this. Why is there no laws applicable in cost accounting? So this is for internal decisions. Now if this is for internal decision making, it is for decisions like these. Now in accounting, why are there legal compliances to be followed? So now you tell me that for financial accounting, why are there legal compliances to be followed? Why? Reasons. If you tell me reason for that, then you will understand why no laws applicable here. Tell me, for financial accounting, why are there legal compliances to be followed? To be in a standardized form, Nadia. Okay. For presenting to outsiders, to make it comparable. Yes, you are right. But let me tell you the main reason why these financial accounting will have legal compliances to be followed is because yes, it is for presenting it to outsiders. So government will enforce you to follow certain legal complications, legal compliances. Government will enforce you to follow these legal compliances so that you do not fool the outsiders. So that your company does not fool the investors, does not show wrong picture to the investors. See, companies will always try to do that. Companies will always try to do that. You know, recently, chalo, certain current affairs also I can discuss with you. Recently, there has been allegations on companies like Byju's that they have misrepresented their books of accounts. Have you heard of that? Yeah, let me tell you that story. They were supposed to file their books of accounts in March 21. They filed their books of accounts in September 22. So more than 1 year late, they have filed their books of accounts. Yeah, for the financial year 2021. Now imagine that financial year of 2021 was the COVID year. Yeah, from April 20 to March 21 was the pure COVID year. And we all know that during COVID, everything was online. So all the school students had taken coaching online. So that was the year where Byju's should have got the maximum profit. But still, they got major losses in that year. And so there were tremendous losses in the company. So the company was trying to make some adjustments and trying to do some misrepresentation in their books of accounts so that they are declaring lesser loss. Eventually, because of those settings and all, they had to do all these settings and all, so they delayed their filing of books of accounts, and they filed their books of accounts, which was supposed to be done in, say, maybe July 21. They filed their books of accounts in September 22, more than 1 year late. Yeah, and I'm talking about the ROC filings, not the income tax filings and all. I'm talking about the company, registrar of company filings and all. They filed their books of accounts over 1 year late. And at the time of filing, they declared around something like, I think something 4,000 crores of losses. Now imagine, they declared around 4,000 crores of losses, and recently, like in last 10 days, there has been further allegations on the company that they have still misrepresented that loss. What is a misrepresentation? I'll tell you. They have many items of expenses which they have wrongly shown as capitalized expenses. Marketing expenses, even educator, the faculty charges that they paid, they have capitalized the faculty charges, which is wrong. You know that it is a revenue expense and it should be shown in the P&L, but they have simply transferred those expenses to the capital so that their profit does not show less. Now this is called misrepresenting your books of accounts. Why did they do that? Why did Byju's misrepresent their profit and loss account? Can you tell me why? Of course, this is not yet proved. This has been allegations. This guy, Karti Chidambaram, you might have heard of him, P. Chidambaram ka son. He has put allegations on Byju's that they have capitalized the majority of their expenses. So if they don't capitalize those expenses, then the real loss is much more than 6,000 crores. But they have shown only 4,000 crores ka losses because almost 2,000 crores they have capitalized. Now, why did they do this misrepresentation? Can you think? Come on, tell me, are you interested in current affairs? Are you aware? Are you interested in current affairs? Because you're going to be chartered accountants. You should know about the current affairs. Yes, so tell me, why did they misrepresent their profit statement? Nimi, yes, thinking of investors. Are Mohammed, you are completely getting it wrong. It is not for avoiding tax payment. See, Mohammed, if they wanted to avoid tax payment, then they would have not capitalized the expense now. Then they would have shown the expense in P&L. What they have done is reverse, Mohammed. Please try to understand what they have done. They have not tried to decrease the profit. They have tried to wrongly inflate the profit. See, that's what I want you to learn. That's what I need you to bring your mindset. As a chartered accountant student, half of you are obsessed with accounting subject and remaining half are obsessed with taxation subject. So whenever you think of doing any adjustments or settings, what comes to your mind is just that ki bas tax save karna. You just want to save tax. No, it's not always about saving tax. Byju's doesn't care for saving tax. They don't want to save tax. They want to save their investors. They want to save their source of funding. They want the investors to invest more money in the company. When will the investors invest more money in the company? When the company seems to be profitable, then the investors would wish to make more investment in the company. Why do you think that these startups are getting valuations of crores and crores of rupees? Zomato, Byju's, Unacademy, all of them are getting huge funding as startups. Why? Because investors have faith in the company. Investors believe that this company will earn good profits in the future. So looking at the profit potential of the company, they get investments. Same goes with Byju's. Now Byju's has already dried out all their investments. There are no investors who are right now ready to invest in Byju's. Yeah. So they wanted more investors, or they wanted to cool down the investors to get more investments. So they misrepresented their books of accounts. They misrepresented the P&L to show better profits. Yeah. So when it comes to presenting your position to outsiders, company will always try to show a better position. Many times, like Byju's, company will try to show a position better than the reality, just so that they can fool the investors to give them more money. Simple example. Just a minute. Mohammed, you said for avoiding tax payment. Mohammed, tell me, if you are applying to a bank for a loan, the bank will ask you to submit your IT returns. You know that, right? Yeah. If you apply to a bank for a loan, then bank will ask you to submit your IT returns. Now, in that IT returns, will you try to show less profit and will you try to save tax? No. When you're applying for a loan, you are submitting your IT returns to prove your income. If you prove that you have more income, then bank will give you more loan. Same goes for companies. If the companies prove that they have more profit, then investors will give them more money. Yeah. So every company will always try to present position to outsiders which appears to be very good. So government will put some legal regulations. So these legal compliances are put by the government so that the companies do not inflate their profit, do not show a wrong position to the investors. You get the reason why are there legal compliances to be followed here? Because this is for outsiders. While costing is for internal decision making. For internal decision making, if this is, so there are no laws applicable because government does not care if you make wrong calculation. Now imagine if you are inflating your cost or if you show less cost for your internal calculations. Imagine if you show less cost, if you show only cost of 15 wrongly, if you are wrongly showing a cost of only 15, then what will happen? Socho, what will happen if you wrongly show a cost of only 15, add a profit of 5, sell the product for 20? Doesn't that damage your own business? It is loss for you only. It does not matter to the government. It does not matter to the government that you have shown less cost. But when Byju's will show less cost in their books of accounts, it matters to the government. But if Byju's shows less cost in their internal decisions, internal calculations, it doesn't matter to anyone. It will be problematic for Byju's themselves. So nobody is stopping them from showing less cost, but still, in even if nobody is stopping them, still they will never do this, because if they do wrong presentation of cost, then their decisions will go wrong, their selling price will go wrong. So if they start selling at a price of 20, then calculation wise they feel that they are getting 5 rupees profit, but in reality are they getting 5 rupees profit? No, in reality if you sell at 20 rupees you are not getting any profit. Yeah, so that's the reason why my costing subject, you see that costing subject is for internal decisions. No laws applicable, no regulations applicable. Only one thing applicable is your pure and simple logic. I'll give you one example. I'll give you one last example. Chalo. So imagine when you appear for an exam. After the exam, after writing the paper, when you reach back home, then probably your parents will ask you that, ki beta, how was the paper? Yeah. What do you answer? What do you answer to your parents? How was the paper? Let's say your paper was not very good. Let's say your paper has not gone really very good. It was okay, or say maybe your paper went very bad. Now your paper in reality went very bad. But still when you come home and your dad will ask you, and how was the paper? What will you say? Well, I remember I used to do that when I was a child. No matter how bad the paper goes, when I come home, I'll tell my dad, yeah, dad, paper was good, really good. Paper was good. When you are presenting things to outsiders, you mostly have a tendency to lie. You will show a good position. But internally, for your own satisfaction, you know that your paper has gone bad. So you know that you need to make better preparations. Will you lie to yourself that paper was good? Definitely not. When it comes to presenting things to outsiders, you have tendency to lie. But when it is for internal decisions, you don't have a tendency to lie. You will never lie to yourself. So there is no force of any legal complications, legal compliances to be followed. It is purely based on logic. I remember one of my cousin's sister, when she came back from one of her school exams, like long ago when we were in school, when she came back from when she came back after her school exams, after like 3 papers, my dad asked that cousin of mine, her name was also Shruti. So my dad asked that cousin of mine that, beta, how was your paper? And this was her answer. Her answer was, uncle, first paper was good, second paper was okay, and third paper was like my dad was, okay, what does mean? Well, that is implied. First paper was good, second paper was okay, third paper was Therefore, third paper was not good, absolutely, right? But still, you will never say that the paper was not good. You will try to show a wrong picture, you will try to change the topic. That's what happens when it comes to financial accounting, but that doesn't need to happen in cost accounting. Done? Yes, chalo, enough discussion we had about this cost accounting versus financial accounting. See, I'm doing this discussion just so that I can remove the accounting mindset from you people and put you into the costing mindset. In fact, while doing various chapters in the syllabus at various point of time, I will keep on reminding this to you. Yeah, I will keep on reminding this to you, that what we are doing in accounting, cost accounting, and how is it different from financial accounting. Two main things to remember here is that cost accounting is for internal decisions. It is all based on estimates. Financial accounting is all based on actuals. And another important thing to remember, no laws applicable here, but yes, here various legal compliances are to be followed. Clear? Now you might have a question that, sir, if everything is based on estimates, isn't it possible that the estimates might go wrong? Yeah, definitely it is possible estimates can go wrong. Now, just because estimates can go wrong, does it mean that you don't make the estimate? No, you will have to still make an estimate. You will have to estimate cost, estimate profit, estimate selling price. Then if the estimate goes wrong, okay, you made a mistake, you learn from your mistake, and next time you estimate better. Yeah, so just because estimates can go wrong doesn't mean you don't make estimates. My entire subject of costing is based on estimates, and that's what we are going to learn in this subject. The main thing that we are going to learn in this subject is how to make the best possible estimates. But in spite of making the best possible estimate, still there will be chances of estimate going wrong. So we will also learn what to do when that estimate goes wrong. So I can say that there are two areas in my subject of costing. One part of costing subject is about how to make estimates, how to make the best possible estimates, how to take your best internal decisions. And second part of my subject will be that when these estimates go wrong, when these internal decisions go wrong, then what should we do? All that we are going to learn in our syllabus here. Done? Yes? Okay. So tell me, as of now, all clear up to here? And tell me my audio, video and all is very clear, still clear? Are you able to comprehend my speech? Are you able to understand my speed? I'll just take a pause over here. Let me know if you have any issues so far here. And those of you who might be watching this recorded sessions, um, I would I would be very happy if you could come live, because I want more and more of you to come live, because you know that the beauty of live class is something absolutely different. Also tell me, have you written these things that I have presented here? Okay, you can ignore my last message. I by mistake I typed something. Yes, so can I proceed? Okay, so coming back to this question here, why do we learn the subject of costing? Well, based on that, let us talk about purpose of my subject of costing. Well, so far I have given you only one purpose. One purpose that I give you is to determine selling price of a product. Yeah, you can determine selling price of a product if the profit margin is already fixed. Yeah, if the profit margin is already fixed, then you can use costing to determine a selling price of the product. Let me put that here. Purpose number one is to determine selling price when the profit is already decided. So you fix the cost, you add the profit, it gives you the selling price. But tell me, is it always possible that I decide my own selling price? Is it always possible that I have the liberty to decide my own selling price? Like, is it always possible that whatever selling price I decide, the customer will pay? You decide the selling price by adding profit to your cost, but does it mean customer will pay that price? Not necessary. Tell me, in which kind of industry will this not be possible? In which type of industry it is not possible that I fix my own selling price? Think. You've done this in your CPT, you've done this in your foundation. Economics, microeconomics. In which type of market do I not decide my own selling price? Yes, Salman, absolutely. In case of perfect competition. Yeah. See, if my company is in a business which is in perfect competition, then do I have the liberty of deciding my own selling price? No. What I need to do, I need to follow whatever is the market selling price. You know that in a firm in perfect competition is not a price maker. He is a price taker. Have you heard of that? Yeah. So imagine in that case selling price you don't have to decide. Selling price is already decided, like whatever is the market price you have to take that itself as the selling price. Well, if that is the case, then what is the purpose of costing subject? Then why should I determine cost? If you don't have to decide selling price, then why do you calculate cost? Come on, did you understand my question? Well, as you can see here, if the selling price is already fixed, still you calculate cost. Yes, Shruti, for the purpose of determining profit. Second purpose of my costing subject. So some companies follow costing subject to decide selling price. Some other companies do this costing subject to determine profit. Why do you want to determine profit? Well, you want to determine profit ultimately for decision making purpose. You calculate your cost, compare it with the market selling price, see whether there is any profit or not. If the product seems to be profitable, then yes, you decide to continue selling that product. But if the product seems to be unprofitable, less profitable, then you might decide to discontinue this product, rather focus on some other product. Right? So that is my second purpose in the subject of costing. First purpose is to determine selling price. Second purpose. So let's make some space over here. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I might do that sometimes because I have that liberty. And I know you can't do that, so you'll have to copy things again. That's the power of technology. So purpose one is to determine selling price of product if profit is already fixed. Second purpose, to determine profit if selling price is already fixed, right? Third purpose, well, based on that third, I can say it's simply decision making. Variety of decision making regarding, say, whether I should continue selling this product, whether I should stop selling this product. Decision like which product should I sell, decision like which product should I sell first, which should I sell next, right? Where should I do the production, or decision like where should I set up the factory. So many types of business decisions will require cost calculations, right? So for various decision making also you have the subject of costing. And the fourth purpose, very important one, it's called as Cost control and cost reduction. Now this is very important. In fact, it is an important concept in your introduction chapter of the subject. Yeah, see, I told you my first session here, we will mostly not start any calculations, but we are going through some basics of the subject. Yeah, I hope you are still with me here. I hope you are enjoying the sessions. So tell me, cost control and cost reduction. Well, if you notice these two words, control and reduction, doesn't both these words indicate decrease? Cost control would indicate you try to decrease cost. Cost reduction also indicates that you try to decrease cost. Well, basically both are referring to the same thing, but there is one major difference between these two. Let us understand that difference with an example here. Say for pen manufacturing, I estimated cost per unit of 20. Estimated cost per unit of 20. So I added a profit of 5 and got the selling price of 25. This estimate was done at the beginning of the year, right? Now, based on this estimate, you start manufacturing pencils during the year. You keep selling pencils during the year. And by the end of the year, you will get to know your actual cost. Now, by the end of the year, when you get to know the actual cost, is it necessary that your actual cost is exactly as per the estimate? Is it necessary that your actual turns out to be exactly as per the estimate? Not necessary. Not necessary, right? Say your estimated cost was 20. What if the actual turns out to be, say, 25? Possible or not? Possible? Your estimated cost was 20. Actual cost turns out to be 25. But when will you come to know that actual becomes 25? When will you come to know that actual cost has become 25? After production? Well, not exactly, Nimi. You will come to know not after production, you will come to know at the end of the year. Because Nimi, don't you think that there are many items of cost which are not directly related to production? There are fixed cost also, which is not directly related to production. Yeah, there will be even marketing cost, selling cost. So it is not just only the production cost that you should compare. You will compare even the marketing, selling cost, bloody, you will even compare annual cost, like say cost paid to the auditor, cost paid to the chartered accountant for filing income tax returns. All these are also your business costs, and these costs you pay only once in a year. Return filing charges you pay at the end of the year, right? So there are so many items of cost which you will come to know at the end of the year only. So the real actual cost you will come to know at the end of the year. So end of the year you came to know that your actual is 25, estimate was at 20. So it shows that you have incurred 5 rupees extra cost. Now what? Now what? Can you change your actual cost now? Can you decrease your actual cost now at the end of the year? Now at the end of the year, can you do anything to decrease the actual cost? No. But still, what you will do is cost control. Cost control means that you try to control your actual cost and bring it down till the estimate. You try to control your actual cost, bring it down till the estimate, that is called as cost control. But can you decrease your actual cost this year? No. it is about next year. So cost control means that you analyze your actual cost against the estimate. You analyze that why did you incur 5 rupees extra. You analyze that this 5 rupees extra and you try to decrease 5 rupees cost in the next year. You try to decrease that extra 5 rupees cost in the next year by finding out where did you go wrong. Cost control means to control my actual cost, bring it down till the estimate. Done? Yes. Now naturally that will apply to the next year. So based on the actual cost of current year, you study that how much extra cost did you incur, you study why did you incur extra cost, what mistakes did you do in this year, you find out your mistakes and you take actions against those mistakes so that next year the same mistake does not happen, right? You prepare better for the next year and you try to avoid those mistakes in the next year. That is called as cost control. Cost reduction is one step further. Cost reduction means what? Now imagine next year, what if next year you have planned better? Next year you have done better planning, you have say identified your mistakes and you have also thought about how will you prevent that 5 rupees extra cost next year. But imagine just before the next year begins, before the beginning of the next year, you realized that a new competitor entered into that industry. I was selling these pencils under my own brand name, but suddenly, out of nowhere, let's say Mukesh Ambani entered into the pencil selling industry. Mukesh Ambani started selling pencils under the brand name Geo Pencils. Can you imagine what will happen if Mukesh Ambani starts selling these pencils as Geo Pencils? Can you imagine what will happen to my business? You all know what has happened in the Indian economy when Jio entered into the telecom sector. Yes, come on, tell me, do you know that? What will happen if Mukesh Ambani starts selling these pencils under the brand name Jio Pencils? Demand decreases. Okay, let me tell you what happens. Let me tell you in detail what happens. Let's say if the competitor starts selling these pencils, if the competitor starts selling these pencils if Mukesh Ambani starts selling these pencils, naturally he will start selling these pencils at a much lesser price. Let's say Mukesh Ambani starts selling them at 20 per unit. Now imagine you are selling at 25 per unit. Mukesh Ambani starts selling at 20 per unit. So what will happen? What will happen is all my customers will go to Mukesh Ambani. Yeah, all my customers will run away and they will start buying Geo pencils instead of buying my pencil. Now, in that case, what I need to do? What is it that I need to do? Don't you think that in that case, I need to decrease my selling price and bring it down to 20? I need to reduce my selling price and bring it down to 20. But tell me, with the existing cost of 20, can I afford a selling price of 20? If my existing cost itself is 20, then can I afford to sell at a selling price of 20? No. What will happen if my cost remains 20 and selling price is also 20? Well, I will get zero profit. Salman, not exactly loss, but yes, I will get zero profit, probably even losses, right? So what I need to do is, if my selling price needs to be decreased from 25 to 20, then I need to think of decreasing even my cost. I need to also decrease my cost to what? Let's say I need to decrease my cost up to 18. That will give me at least 2 rupees of profit. See, if there is a tough competition like a Geo, if there is a very tough competitor like a Geo Telecom or Geo Pencils, then naturally I might not be able to earn the same margin of profit. But I don't want to make losses. If I have to sell the product at the price of 20, I would still expect not, chalo, maybe not 5 rupees profit, but at least a 2 rupees profit I want still. Yeah, at least 2 rupees is the profit that I want. So I need to bring my cost down till 18. Now tell me, what was this 20? This 20 was estimated cost. What is 18? What is 18? Is that estimate or is that actual? Come on, tell me, what is this 18? Is that estimate or is that actual? Come on, why is your responses slowed down? Can you hear me? Is my audio video coming to you clear? Meeting going proper or not? Because I'm getting less responses from you. Yeah, okay, now I got it. Estimate, yes, 18 is not actual, 18 is also an estimate. So I wish to decrease another 2 rupees. Now this decrease of 2 rupees is called as cost reduction. Let me call 20 as estimate 1 and I call 18 as estimate 2. So chalo, now let us define properly. What is cost control? Cost control means to decrease my actual and bring it down to the estimate. While cost reduction means to bring that estimate further down. Cost control means to decrease my actual 25 and bring it down to the estimate, while cost reduction means to bring that estimate further down from 20 to 18. Do you understand the difference, the basic difference, cost control, cost reduction? Okay, then second difference. I already told you that how will you decrease this 5? How do you decrease actual cost down till estimate? Well, this decrease you can do by identifying your mistakes and preventing mistakes in the next year. Yeah, your 5 rupees was incurred extra because something went wrong, because something went different than what you estimated. So if anything goes different than what you estimate, it is called as a mistake. Cost control can be done by preventing such mistakes. You tell me, how will you do cost reduction? Chalo, this 5 rupees you can decrease by preventing your mistake. Can you decrease this another 2 rupees by preventing mistake? Can this 2 rupees decrease? Can that be done by preventing mistake? No. Then tell me how to decrease that 18. How to decrease that 20 to 18. How to decrease that 2 rupees. Give me some ideas. Give me some ideas out of your own creativity. Any idea. In fact, say look at this pencil. Looking at the pencil, does that give you any idea how to decrease 2 rupees in my costing? Change material, okay. Changes in model, okay, good. Different material, reduce employee cost. Krishna, how to reduce employee cost? Mohammed, yes, good. More production. Mohammed, more production means you are trying to indicate economies of scale. But tell me, Mohammed, when there is a competitor, when there is a new competitor like Mukesh Ambani entering into my industry, would you even think of doing more production? You are worried about maintaining your current production. How will you even think about increasing more production? You are basically worried about maintaining the existing production also. You are worried that whether I'll be able to sell it or not. How in the hell will you think about increasing production? So no, that won't work. But yes, chalo, your suggestion regarding changing the model, changing the design, it might work. Let me tell you, say, so look at this pencil. Is there any part, of this pencil design which you can say maybe change? Let me see your creativity. Come on. Purchase the cheaper material, Roshan. Roshan, is that? Yeah, purchasing cheaper material, but don't you think it might decrease the quality? And decrease in quality might again make mistakes, and because of mistakes, your cost might again increase. Chalo, let me give you an idea. I give an idea that I can try to decrease that 2 rupees by changing design of this pen structure, by making some changes in the structural design of this pencil. Now you look at this pencil and recommend what changes in the structural design can you think of? Some idea? Mohammed says that I can remove this rubber grip. Okay, that can save some cost. Reduce size. Yes, Salman, absolutely. Say when any person will use this pencil, you know that you're gonna use this pencil like this. So look at the position how I'm holding the pencil. Look at this position how I'm holding this pencil. Well, only this much length of the pencil is getting used. The top 1 inch, do you see it is useless? Maybe I can reduce the size of the pencil by say half an inch. If I can reduce size of the pencil by half inch, it can save some material, save some cost. Yeah. Chalo, I have a better idea. You see at the back of this pencil, I remove this cap and there is one tiny eraser here. You might have noticed this in many pencils. Tell me, have you ever used such eraser? I have never used it because it is a completely worthless eraser. There's absolutely no reason why they put this eraser here. It's absolutely worthless. So what I would do is I would change the design of the pencil. I would make some changes in the pencil design, such changes that I will remove this eraser. And if eraser is removed, then even this cap, even the cap that I have put here can be removed. I create a new design where there is no eraser at the top, there is no cap at the top, there is a fixed structure over here. Yeah, some kind of fixed structure which is not removable and I can still use the pencil. Right? Don't you think such change of design could help me save some cost? Yeah, change of design could help me save some cost, say at least 2 rupees cost, it can help me to save. So with such change of design, I can decrease my estimate of 20 down to an estimate of 18. Well, yes, that is cost reduction. Tell me, can I decrease that 20? Can I decrease this 2 rupees by preventing mistakes, by improving efficiency, by decreasing wastage of material? No. No, this 2 rupees decrease cannot happen by preventing mistake. This 2 rupees decrease cannot happen by decreasing wastage of material. Why not? Because this 20 estimate, this 20 is an estimate. It is an estimate. It doesn't contain any wastage. Why would you estimate mistakes? See, this 20 is an estimate. Does that estimate already contain mistakes? No. So you cannot decrease that 20 by preventing mistakes. Right? Yeah. Let us put down that difference separately because it is an important difference. Cost control is when you try to decrease your actual down till the estimate. Cost reduction is when you decrease that estimate further down to another estimate, right? Cost control, how is it done? By identifying mistakes of this year and trying to prevent those mistakes in the next year. Yeah, by identifying mistake of this year and trying to prevent that mistakes in the next year. Mistakes like what kind of mistakes? Mistakes like wasting more material, mistakes like paying more price, mistakes like wasting time of labor, paying more rate of wages to the labor, wasting more electricity. Yeah, all these are the mistakes which you try to prevent next year. That is called as cost control, right? While cost reduction, how do you do that? Well, there can be many ideas, but a few ideas I'll put down here. Say the main example that I give you is by changing design of the product, by creating new design of the product, or say by implementing new technology, by implementing new technology, more advanced technology, new technology of production. Yes. So this could be examples of how to do cost reduction. And based on that, one last difference. Therefore, Therefore, there is one last difference here. I say that cost reduction is permanent, while cost control is temporary. I'll tell you why. Let's say you were able to decrease, let's say you were able to identify the reason for 5 rupees extra cost, and you were able to prevent extra cost in the next year. Yeah, so that is called as cost control. That's called as cost control, that you were able to identify mistake of this year and you were able to prevent mistake in the next year. Now tell me, just because you prevent mistake in the next year, does it guarantee that you will prevent mistake in every year after that? If you prevented mistake in this year, does it guarantee you will prevent mistake every year? No, there is no guarantee. Say, let's say you had more wastage of material last year. So this year you were more careful that you don't waste material. You were careful not to waste material, so you were able to prevent material wastage in this year. Does it guarantee that material wastage will prevent next year also? No, there is no guarantee here. It is temporary. However, cost reduction. Imagine if I change the design of this pencil, if I remove this eraser from the design, change the design of the pencil, and by changing the design I saved 2 rupees cost. Will I save that 2 rupees cost every year? Will I get that savings every year? Yes, I will get this savings every year as long as I continue the new design. As long as I continue with the new design, I will keep getting this savings. Hence, I say cost reduction is more permanent. Yeah, do you understand why temporary and permanent here? See, I'm sure nobody else will tell you this reason. Almost everybody else will ask you to memorize that cost control is temporary, cost reduction is permanent. I'm giving you the reason, I'm giving you the reason with example, I'm giving you the reason with example over here. That should help you remember. Done? Yes.